Welcome to Slippery Garage. We're not going to work on a motorcycle. Today, we're going to be doing some odds and ends work to my first gen Toyota Crawler. We're going to take you around and show you some pieces on this thing. It started life as an 83 Toyota pickup with the 22R carbureted and a nice 8-foot bed. It's nice and stubby. It's been bobbed just behind the rear leaf. It has a fully integrated exo cage that goes all the way into the frame. Nice big shock hoops for those long travel. Bilstein, the Germans, fuel cell. Exo cage comes up, goes across the roof, down the A-pillars, all the way down into the sliders. We are rocking 37-inch Goodyear Kevlars on just some steelies. Maybe one day I'll put bead locks on it. Probably not. I like trail side fixes. You can see the fender's perfect, in beautiful shape. All the way to the little stinger poking out at you. It is sitting on Fox long travel air shocks with bump stops on there. The cockpit, El Cheapo Amazon steering wheel with a little adapter on here. I'll put a link in the description. I have the factory transmission, nothing's been done to that. We do have dual transfer case. One is twin sticked and one of them has the 4.7 kit in it. I imagine that the 4.7 kit is in the front one and not the back one. I do one day want to do the 4.7 kit to the whole macaroni. We've got a nice speed hole, you know, here in the floor. This is for aerodynamics and water drainage. Corbeau Baja SS seats. They're suspension seat. They're just bolted right in. It's nothing fancy there. Old busted harnesses. I need to replace those. One of my favorite parts about this truck, hood pop. Still works. Underneath this bad mamma jamma, did do a Weber carb swap. This is the 3236, I believe, with the manual choke. I didn't want to mess around with lightning chokes or whatever. I do have a trail gear battery relocate with the yellow top Optima clearly. These big nasty shocks, shock hoops, coming all the way tied down into the frame. These both little Amy right there. We do have hydraulic steering. Orbital is mounted right here onto the steering shaft. Up there. Here's my reservoir for the full hydraulic steering. I did have an issue where the lightning box, the ignition control module, went out on this thing. Turns out factory replacements are like 300 bucks for this old turd. So did a little bit of Google fooing and found out on the intro webs that if you do really, really bad wiring and just zip tie it to whatever you can. Oh, here's some more. Oh, those aren't even, man, I'm really good. You can put a Chevrolet or a GM spark box into this thing. So that is a GM ignition control module. Have it wired into the factory spark box with way too many connections. Not the correct colored wire, doesn't match. Here's some more connections. You really want to have a lot of connections in your wires so that it gets really, you know, connections. Underneath, we do have rock lights. Just Amazon special, nothing fancy, because if they get destroyed, I don't want to be heartbroken about it. Link in the description. custom square drive shaft. Make sure that when you either go to make this or if you have someone make it for you, make sure they cap off the part of the drive line that goes in, so that when you pack this thing full of grease so it doesn't rattle and make a whole bunch of horrible noises, that grease doesn't just get pushed into the center tube. No good. Front end is 3-linked. 1, 2, and 3. Rear end, just lift leaves. That's it. I don't know what company or what kit. You can find them everywhere. Eventually I do want to 3-link the rear as well. That's so far down the road though, we're not going to care about it. More rock lights. Transfer case skid plates. Protect those. Front end. Hydraulic steering ram. This setup works, but it could be better. In the future, I do want to go to a double-ended ram. Leaking axle seals. It's important. Fox air shock on the right. Fox air bump stop on the left. I do have limiting straps in the front. Amazon special, little light bar, light pods. Again, link in description. Rock lights. Headlights. Well, Rich, what are you doing to this thing today? Well, I gotta put a little bit of air into this mamma jamma. These shocks, I haven't touched them in 3 years, so I'm gonna put a little bit of, you know, in them. I should charge these with nitrogen, but I don't care. Charging them with nitrogen makes it so that whatever temperature difference does not affect the shock as bad or as heavily as just regular compressed air. The same thing as putting nitrogen in the tires in your car. Get out of here. Nitrogen in your shocks also helps keep the temperature of the shock more consistent while it's being worked. Compressed, extended. Nitrogen not being affected by heat as much as air keeps a consistent compression and extension rate of the shock. Rebound rate. So we're just gonna be trashy and fill it with air. I don't have a nitrogen store. Or I could not be cheap and go to my local welding store. Buy some nitrogen. On these Fox shocks, it's just a standard Schrader valve. Boop. Correction, not charging shocks. They have a lot more pressure than the wind maker, you know, can make. So they're fine. I did, however, put a little bit more air in the bump stops because that was the main issue I was having the last time I went out. Axle was able to compress too far, causing the drive line to hit one of the mounting brackets for the 3-link. Next up on the docket, there's no doors. That's okay, I have doors. It was just summertime here in North Idaho. We're starting to creep on in wintertime. Let's put the doors back on this thing. I'm not good at this yet. I didn't record a whole lot of what I was just doing, and I was talking to you guys a bunch. Cliff notes. Doors. That one doesn't match. Somebody broke the glass out. I don't know why. It's a rock crawler and the door was unlocked. So break the glass to get in. That makes sense. Got it from a buddy. He did a modification. The top bolt for both sides is tack welded in place on the top. Hinges on the door. Cut a slot on the top. Use a pair of vice grips. Hold them still. Get at them with a die grinder. If you're anything like me, you put your safety glasses somewhere so you'd know where to find them. I lost them. So I didn't wear them. You should wear them. I just engaged safety squints. I turned out okay this time. Now that you're caught up, just like that, we got a door. Just like that. Now all we got to do is put the bottom bolt in. Oh. Oh. First I have to find the bolts for the door that I took out 5 months ago. Well, couldn't find the right bolts, so I found some bolts. Only found 2, needs 4, it's fine. Oh no. Alright, so after about a half an hour of just rage-fueled rage, finally figured it out. Door is on. Door closes. Okay, so what happened? Something must have happened over this summer. Something got bendy. Hinges were already bent. I just bent them more. Bolted the door down. Okay, top and bottom. On the latch side of things, that's where stuff got a little bit more Western. So hinges are bent, causing the door to be too far this way. I have these washers in my toolbox, whatever. Put them underneath, readjusted door latch, bang, door closes. So this thing just gets beat on every single time it goes out. There is a very, very nice way to give you and also your passenger, i.e. the wife, a little bit of a creature comfort. These Armomatic windows get pretty stiff. I used the wrong stuff, some PB Blast chain and cable lube. What I'd like to do is just, you know, a dab will do ya. On both sides. Oh, that went all the way to the toolbox. A dab will do ya. Okay, you do the up, you do the down. In the old Winder tracks. Oh yeah, there we go. You work it. You got a rocket, Barb. Look at that, like it's brand new, fresh from the factory. Another thing I like to do, especially in these old first gens, these door handles on the outside really like to get sticky. So once a season, sometimes twice, depending on how rough I've been to it, I'll hit it with a little bit of libation just to keep everybody, you know, doing a thing. Squirt a little libation in the important bits, work it a few times, it all chimes. There it is, guys. That's the first gen crawler. A little bit more junk laying around here at Slippery Garage. I do want to take this thing out in the wintertime, see if we can't get some snow pushed up onto the hood. Gotta fix the heater before that. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end of the video. If you like the ditter, let me know. Do you have a crawler? Are you a Jeep guy? Oh man. Jeep guys, we all know that guy. If you got a wheeler, let me know what you got. Let me know what it looks like. Maybe it's junk like mine. Maybe it's really nice. I don't know until you tell me. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, that whole bit. Be good to each other. Water. So there it is, guys. Fucking